We are on.
We're on. On top of the smoke. Do you remember this song?
Mm-hmm.
All covered with cheese.
I lost one.
Or meatball with somebody's cheese. I love the original song.
Which was?
On top of old smoke. We gotta look that up sometime. We gotta do old songs sometime.
Okay.
Some really old songs.
Okay.
I gotta edit a few because there are some that are kind of risque.
Are they? The old songs?
Yes, I've got one.
That's risque?
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me it's
I
baby.
won't tell- I'll tell you
Don't
later.
tell me it's baby. It's cold outside.
No,
The one that they
no,
ban
no,
because
no.
it's supposed to be so sexually
No,
oriented and so.
no.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to hear that one then because I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I've got the 78. It's a 78. They'll tell you how.
Yeah, because I don't even know.
It was not mine, it was my mom's. Right,
Yeah, but it can't be that risque if it was your mother's. Okay, well, we're gonna listen to that.
There's one that my mom has got a pistol, something like pistol back on mama. Remember that? Pistol back on
I've
Mama?
heard the saying,
works
but
quite
I
well.
don't know where it came from.
I think I have that one too. We should bring an old record player in here and play some of the old ones.
Well, I had 45s in it, but I've never had a 78.
I'm gonna have 78. And it doesn't even have a cover on it. It's a fun song. I'll sing it for you later.
Okay. All
It's
right.
very old, folks. But I want to talk to you about cars. We've talked about cars before.
We've talked about Teslas. And
Since we
we
talked about Teslas,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen two.
Have you actually seen them in live?
Oh, yes.
Aren't they interesting?
One was, what a
Elon
man.
Musk.
Elon Musk. I mean, my sense is, he's strange. He's my type of strange. I like this man.
Well, he's funny. He's quirky.
He is. That's what he probably get along. Elon, talk to us. We're just Soot and Ash down here in Southern Virginia. She needs Starlink.
Me too.
She really
Then we
does.
can communicate more.
That's right. Oh man. So we were in Blackstone.
Okay.
A doctor's appointment. We decided we'd go for breakfast. Parked outside. There was a big white pickup truck, 4-door, the big Southern pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
Behind it was this royal blue Tesla. And I picked them out real easy because it's got a little T in that end. And it's not gaudy.
No, it's not gaudy.
That's what I like about it. It doesn't have all the doodads or anything. It's just got this little T. Little light in it.
So the fun is inside. And
Oh, see, I have nuts. But
You gotta see
inside,
it.
no. I should have asked you. Anyway, so we're gawking over it because my son is just like, they are so cool. And he's looking, can I afford it? Can I write it off as a chiropractic? If I only drive it to work,
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of funny because I guess if he just drove it to work, he probably could. Make house calls, Jay.
That's right.
Make house calls.
Keep your table in it.
That's right. Keep a table in it. You get a little. So we went in. We had our breakfast. We came out, and I was sitting outside waiting for my husband to pay the bill. And up came a young man, and then I found out that his father. He hugs his father. He takes something out of the Tesla and puts it in this big SUV or that big pickup truck, right? So I'm observing people and cars. So he hugs his father, and the father says, "What are you doing today?" And he says, "Well, I'm going to go to work." And I'm still sitting there, and there's a big truck, and it starts up and drives away, and then the Tesla.
It's just so quiet.
There's nothing.
You couldn't hear it.
There's nothing. It just rolls away. So that was my first experience with the Tesla. So yesterday we went to Sam's Club. Don't go often because when we go, we get what we need. And I said, "Oh, there's a Tesla." But this one was sort of like a hatchback.
Okay.
So it was a little bit bigger than the other one. And it's maneuvering in the same direction we were going, and then someplace it turned off. It was white. We're coming back. Now, what's the chances? I swear, it had to be the same Tesla, because how many Teslas are there in Midlothian that look exactly like this Tesla, going in the same direction they're going? So I got to see 3 times.
It must be meant for you to go by at least and get it demonstrated to you.
Where are they? There must be one in Midlothian.
There's got to be one in Raleigh too, I would think. So that wouldn't be too far away, but I would think somewhere
Just to go and
have it.
look
Yes,
at one.
and get them to show you what it's all about.
Can I sit in one, please? So, of course, our son and daughter-in-law were down, and Jay's just like, oh, Tesla. And he's drooling. Good, drool a little bit. Anyway, so that's one experience in cars.
So that's the newer cars.
That's
a very, very new, technology, just the aerodynamic of it, everything. I can't think of anything that he's really missed, but anyway.
I know. He's upgraded the batteries.
Yes, and my understanding is that, somebody wrote into him and told him that, they needed something for when they had their dog with them.
Yeah.
So he added something, and so it's like you put it in doggy mode, and nobody can still break into your car, but it leaves the air conditioner or something on for your dog while you're in the store and keeps your dog comfortable. He's just amazing.
He's a brilliant man.
And he looks like he'd be so much fun.
I think so. We're fun. He can join us.
Mm-hmm.
Can we Photoshop him in a bit?
We ought to.
We should get one of your grandsons or Photoshop him and just have a poster of it. That would be fun.
I might go find one.
We gotta find one. That would be really funny.
What do you think, Eli?
We just keep asking him stuff. Because doesn't he have the Space Force? And
you and your scientific background, I would really.
I would. Yes, I'm like, oh man. And we have relatives of relatives have moved up more towards Charlotte now.
Okay.
In no man's land. It's supposedly no cell service, no internet, nothing but the internet comes through their electrical system. And I said, Starlink, we can't get Starlink. Are you kidding me? Starlink is
Charlotte, Virginia?
Yeah,
Charlottesville, Virginia
that's up near them. Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that his network is almost all around the world now. And
Set in Virginia.
You'll get it eventually.
I keep looking. I do keep looking.
Is it mine yet? Anyway.
But I heard that they shipped a bunch of Starlinks over to Maui.
The man does this stuff.
Yeah,
I
was like, well, if I've got to sacrifice, my satellite, or got to sacrifice something for that. But I heard that that's what I read.
I would believe that. He's done that. He does that. And I don't care what anyone happens to say about him. Did he ever buy TikTok or whatever it is? Did he buy?
He bought Twitter.
Twitter. Okay, good.
Because now it's called X.
Oh, good.
It's not Twitter anymore. Now it's X.
I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it.
People are not happy with that, but that's okay. He doesn't care.
He does not care. And I don't. And this is supposed to be about cars. But see how we're getting. It's fun. But we had a car experience last week.
Oh, no, not
have you ever had
a car or a cow? A car and a cow.
Haven't had a cow experience yet.
Okay.
Not in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. Although around here, I guess they can run free.
Well, no, it was pigs last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, pigs. Yeah.
Pigs on the road. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you had your car just fixed recently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go back a few years. I had a SUV Cadillac used.
Okay.
I love that. I just love the car. Although we had one too many vehicles we really didn't need. So we were going to downsize, get rid of 2, get 1. Because we had a trunk, 2 cars. We don't need all that. So when I first got it, I loved it. Right? I really did. And I loved it right up until I traded it. Even that day. But my light bulb in the front went out. Just a little running light.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that should be easy enough. What? Bulbs cost maybe $5 at the most. A little bulb. I'm looking at it. You have to take it to the dealer. I'm like, what? they have to remove the bumper. $500.
To change a light bulb.
Not with me, you don't do that. No. So I'm looking, and I grew up in a garage, and I used to go and watch people, and I'm like, why can't you just go from the tire side and just, pull that thing out, because there's the light. So I researched it. Sure enough, on YouTube, you don't have to take it, you just hike it up in the air, take the wheel, take the tire off, and go in from the inside. So I took it to my favorite guy and got it done for maybe $20.
But they're making vehicles like that, but there's a lot of people that can't work on their vehicles like you did. And so people now are having to get their light bulb changed, it's costing them, and it's like, that's ridiculous. Why would you make something?
$500.
Because it's their labor and all.
That's exactly, because they have to take the
light
whole
bulb
bumper off. To get a
They
bulb.
probably, I don't mean fair, but they probably do. They probably.
They probably, yes.
Charge you.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, you can, because you can.
Because you can. If I can find it, they can find it. So last week we're riding home. I'm in the passenger side. And I'm looking, and we're on Nutbush Road, close to our house. In the rear view mirror on the side car. Now, it's not because we have the volume up maximum of the music, because there was nothing on. It was just, now if I had been with my daughter on the Durango on the music, yeah, it will vibrate, it will, because of music. I just thought, boy, there's something wrong with this mirror. It's just shaking all over the place. So I got home and we're looking at it, and the whole, not the shell, but the mirror itself is just like wobbly. So I shut the door and the mirror went fell out. It's being held by the wires that go in the mirror because it adjusts the electronic adjustment. It has the little too close symbol and it has the flash. I'm like, oh. So we're looking at this and we're messing around, and all these little pieces of plastic are falling off. They're little tiny tabs, little tabs that deteriorated and broke off, that held fully the mirror. Now, it's got a little disc, and it's not flat. You'd think it'd be flat. It's not. It's got one little part that goes in, another little part, a screw, and so none of it is really flat. The only thing that's flat is on the mirror part. And it had like a little sticky, looked like it had maybe some kind of little foam there, but that was gone. So, research time. You know what you have to do to repair that?
I really don't.
You have to order the whole unit.
Oh, really?
The whole unit. And then, of course, whoever orders it has to put it on. And then you have to, you take the unit to a body shop to paint it to match your car.
Because that was going to be my next question.
There you see, yes, that's the paint. I'm glad you had that one.
Because I was wondering if you'd be able to get it to match exactly. So I was just wondering about that. That was popping through my mind.
Well, you got the right question. And I'm like, you could almost see the steam coming out of my ears. Because I'm like, this does not seem right. Because every time you touched, of course you had to take the wires off and take the mirror, because you can't let it hang there. You know, like the glasses would be hanging out, one light is hanging out. So there's no mirror there.
So is this your only option?
Oh no, my option is let's glue this sucker on. So I've got all these ideas.
Aren't the wires and everything connected to, so it can be turned and ran and stuff? I mean, or how does that? Okay, and that won't be affected by anything you do.
Not what I'm going to do. You get it where you want it. That's where it's going to stay forever. Sorry.
Nobody else can drive this vehicle ever.
You can't see out of that. But anyway. So I've got some ideas and I'm trying to work it through and we're trying to
But if
get
you
the.
took it to a dealer, I can't imagine how much it would cost.
Oh,
But anyway,
I think my husband figured it would be about $500 by the time you ordered the part. And of course, it's foreign parts, so if you can get it. Now, if you went to a junkyard, you probably could get one, but you don't, that's sort of like a crapshoot. You might get it, you might not. So then you have to take it to somebody to get it painted and get it matched and make sure you get the right one. And I don't know how they put it on. They probably have to take the door off because it's all, you have to get inside.
you gotta probably get
Speakers there,
inside.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got door issues. 500.
Okay, so now let's,
Okay, so,
okay.
and then we gotta figure out the space because you can't see behind to find out how far in that mirror's gotta go so that you get the right space, so at least it's inside. Oh, we went to the hardware store. I said, well, first of all, let's buy some glue. So we bought some Gorilla Super Glue and some of the epoxy where you mix it together. And I bought something that I thought might work, but it was hard. So we get home and there's the two of us. I was like, oh, we need something that is cushioning. Now, this is not a God story, but it is in a way. Because we're in the garage. We've got all the stuff that we want to do. We know how we want to fit it. But we don't have that one item that we think would work. And I look over and on the shelf we have 2 foam mouse pads. I pull one out. We could just cut a circle and glue that on the near side. Because it's foaming and it's cushioning. So we did that. We glued that with super glue, epoxy. That's not moving. So now we've got 2 other parts on the other side that got to be filled. So we got little wedges of foam, super glued, epoxied that on, and he just got that stuff on and pushed it in, and it moves slowly. It will move, but it's not going to fall out anymore. And it only cost about $15 to buy the glue.
But see, that's bad though, because I mean, y'all could do that, but not everybody could.
I'm cheap.
No, I'm talking about have the ability.
Well, yeah.
Not everybody.
Not everybody could do
Not
that.
everybody has the ability to do what you just did. They don't have the work area to do it. They don't have the knowledge to do it. They don't have the capability of even figuring. And y'all.
It took 2 of us to figure it out, but we did it because I can't. You look at what you're dealing with, and I have no idea. I'm waiting now for the other one to fall off because if one did, the other one's going to. It's only being held on by little clamps that over time, the vehicle is it 2016? It's not that old.
But the clamp.
But the clamps, they wear out. And it's pretty sad that you have to
that kind of money.
to get something to work because who knows how long it may be delayed. And of course, my husband said, "No, don't forget, because for a few days, we were just a couple of days without that mirror." I said, "Hey, we didn't have 2 mirrors in our first vehicles. We had just one, and then you had to reach out the window."
And that's how we used to have to.
That's right, you just adjusted them. And then when you got 2, the passenger had to do it for you. Okay, it's almost good.
It's kind of like the air conditioning in the car. 260, 2 windows down, 60 miles an hour.
Go faster, Rena, go faster, it's too hot.
There was just,
Anyway, so that was my car story, but you had yours just repaired.
I did, and they did a good job and everything, so it is, thank the Lord, it is working nicely. Yeah, no, it's just amazing the things that,
We could repair our vehicles in the past.
well, I admit, I was at the beauty shop over here one day. This has been several years ago. and I had my car parked on the street. And I was sitting there under the hairdryer, I guess. Anyway, and somebody told me, they said that somebody came by and just took my mirror off. And so, of course, the cops and everything were called and stuff like this. Nobody was found or anything. So, and I started crying. Well, and actually, the way they clipped it, it took like more of the covering off.
Okay.
But I mean, even just pricing that and everything, I'm like, no, I can deal with it right now. I mean, it wasn't worth all the
Because anything.
all the price and everything
That's
that
right.
you were going to have to go through. And so, I don't notice that maybe somebody else would, but at this point, it was not high on my priority list. Because it works. And because that's all you need is you got to have it to work. Because if you go get your car inspected, the mirrors have to work.
I didn't know that my front window needed to work on the Mazda too in order to pass inspection.
They do like you to be able to get out if something happens or
They're
something.
all electronic. If you're underwater and it's shorted out,
You're not going to be able to get out anyway.
no, that's when you have to break a window.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the thing, you wait till the water gets almost up to your nose and then you can open the door. Because the water pressure equalizes, so they can open the door. Not that I plan on going.
Well, I was going to say,
Swimming with my
it's
vehicle.
good to know all this, but yes, not planning on taking a
All these
drive.
little bit of bits and pieces that float around in there. But no. And my husband used to take care of our cars all the time. Take care of brakes and stuff. My son-in-law does it to their vehicles. And not probably to his, but our daughter's Simon and the van. And he takes care of that. He's worked on his little MG that they have. But you can't. So that was my car saga.
But you did well. I'm really proud of y'all. I mean, but y'all are very competent and capable. But I just think about like widows and stuff. Most of them you couldn't. Most of them couldn't do it. So most of them don't have a garage. Would know what to use, how to do.
I'm just.
See me, I want to just invest in some of that flex.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I think
yeah.
that stuff would be wonderful. Have you seen where they make a boat out of it now?
Really?
Yeah, they've got this flex tape now, and they actually wrap this boat supposedly, and then it gets on the water. And I'm like,
I love that stuff.
I haven't used it, but I want to invest in it.
I like
see if
it.
it
That's the
works.
spray stuff.
It's got
spray seal.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Do y'all
We
like it?
use it. Oh, are you kidding? My husband's boots had a crack in the bottom. I said, spray it.
It worked.
For a while until I love that stuff.
So see, I'm gonna get me some. See, that's
They have different
probably.
colors too now.
But I've had Gorilla Glue not hold, so maybe it's because I didn't put epoxy with it.
Well, yeah, we just
Maybe the
epoxy.
epoxy.
The epoxy, because you had to mix the two things, and you mixed it, and it was dripping down underneath. My husband's cleaning it out with the
You gotta be careful what you stick to, right?
denatured alcohol. He cleaned up so you don't know. I said, does it move? He says, yeah, you hold it there, it'll move slowly. Well, okay, as long as I can see out of it and you can see out of it and it'll move slowly, we're good, because it's not gonna fall out. And I keep looking at it. The test was, I think Sunday was the test. Okay, it's the test. Oh, we made it to church and back. Good. Made it to Richmond and back. Fine, it's out there now. But, so yeah, vehicles are.
But the new cars, they make it so much harder because they have all these chip things and stuff in them. So you don't know if it's the
Electronics.
chip that's messed up, because the chip can throw a false thing
That's
also,
right.
and all they have to do is go in there and put a code in. But you don't know what that code is. You gotta think of somebody that knows what the code is. I mean, it's not like in the, back when the guys, you could just pull up and the guy would, pop open your hood.
I say, yeah, here it is.
And know exactly what it is now.
No, our
It's
truck,
different.
our truck is, what is our truck, 2014? And we've replaced thermostats because it looks like the temperature gauge keeps going up and down. My husband put in, I don't know how many had it. So it's more the sensor than it is the thermostat. So we just ignore it. It'll go down and then.
Well, as long as you're not driving it too far. You don't drive.
7-hour trip to Hunt.
Oh, are you? If you're okay with it being.
He has replaced so many of them.
that
They can't all be
just-
wrong.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't keep buying them. And he's researched it. It's just sometimes it's just the sensor that's doing it. It'll pop up and fall down. And it'll stop and it'll
And you
land.
can't replace the sensor?
Probably can, but
Why?
why bother? As long as it's still working.
Well, that's like with my husband, his is, the tire always looks like it's flat or going down. And they've replaced the little thing on it too, but, so now we just don't, but, I don't wanna take a chance, cause my grandson drives our car more than he drives the truck. So, when I've got somebody young doing it, then
Yeah.
I want the vehicle to be a little bit safer, or just make sure everything is good, cause you don't know. It's one thing risking us, but he knows now, like you, he just ignores it, cause he knows that everything is good. He's
Yeah,
done
it's
everything
been replaced how many times?
So,
And it'll be fine, and all of a sudden it goes, zzz, and then it goes, zzz, and then it goes, zzz.
anybody that's out there that has kids that want to learn automotives is just,
Oh my gosh,
please
yes.
let them, because, you don't know who you'll be helping.
That's right.
Because it's getting interesting and stuff.
It
And,
really is.
I don't know that I would be able to do everything you've done. So, I don't know. I would try it, but I don't know that I would. I don't know. Interesting.
You would include it.
More than likely, I would have glued it, but mine probably would have moved. I'd have probably had cement, and it's just like. And then when they went and, oh, you broke it? And when they went to go
Trade in.
when they went to go check it next year for the
Let's see, do I have to trade in my vehicle because I can't get the mirror back on? I have to upgrade.
All right, guys. Well, we will check at you later. Bye bye.